sometimes it's not really abnormal to see an 11-4 either. So, yep, Choke won the 9th round. They're going to start on the CT side. And GLG, they've got to fight through this T side now. It's going to be tough, but let's see whether they can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And right now, I mean, this is an important game for Choke because they're currently 3-2 in the standings. They need to get this. They're actually fighting for their playoff spot right now, up against Fish123, up against United Estonia. GLG at this point are pretty much playing for pride. They're playing to just get something on the board, and Pommy is looking to make that happen as Shig finds Imi as well. They're doing a good job in this first round. Googly going to be the first good-looking gamer to fall, and now Ezio and Mighty Max looking to try and get a retake onto this A site. The bomb is already down, but Mighty Max just can't quite connect his shots. Pommy is looking to get it, but Mighty Max finally finishing off that man. 3 versus 2. The health bars are incredibly low for Choke, though. It is going to be Mighty Max. Gets another one on 15 HP. Finally, Shig comes around from behind, finishes him off. Actually, Shig, the only man remaining at the end of that round. Would GLG get the first round on the board?
Oh, the new beautiful ragdolls and animations.
Yeah. Anyway, cartwheel past the camera.
Yeah, exactly. True cinematic fashion. But this is good for GLG. It's very difficult to rack up your rounds on the T side of Mirage, so if you can win your pistol and capitalise on the next 2, considering they're on the T side, only really expected to rack up a good 5 rounds, so if they can storm into a quick, clean and easy 3-0 lead, then it'll definitely make their lives a lot more easier going into the remainder of the game, especially if they can rack up the first gun round as well. But we can see how passive they're playing right now, taking their time. I hope that bomb doesn't get spotted or lost at the top of mid, because that will leave GLG in a bit of a tough scenario. But they're keeping their distance. They don't want to lose any of these rifles. They don't want to lose any of these Mac 10s either to their Choke Gaming opponents. But Choke Gaming haven't opted to go for armor here, so we could see them maybe go for a force buy come the next round. Let's wait and see.
Yeah, and I mean, kind of risky play coming out here from GLG as well. Buying that AK, buying those Galils. Should they drop those weapons, definitely would give Choke a way back onto this scoreboard. But the A site is just completely taken over by GLG without a single kill. But as I say that, 2 immediately come across. Stanley finding Mighty Max and Wreck onto Powell. But Peggy is looking through the little hidey hole, but he can't quite finish anybody off. Just tagging a couple of members. Shig now, it's going to go down. A couple of headshots with that P250 come out from Peggy. But 4 versus 3 with the weapon advantage for GLG. I don't really see Choke going to be able to get this one. Mac 10 in hands of Googly. Ezio just going to have to back away here as Peggy is stuck between a rock and a hard place right now. He's going to try and find Googly, and he is going to find him. That's the second one for him with the P250. Peggy certainly feeling good in this round. The bomb is going to go off, but I mean, 2 kills with just the P250. They're not going to be too unhappy with that, and Peggy was even able to bring a Mac 10 into this next round.
Yeah, when you consider the fact that none of them really had armor, that wasn't too bad of a return. But looking at things financially right now, Choke Gaming could try and surprise their opponents and opt to force it up. Mighty Max can definitely afford to do so. It's going to be tough for Ezio, but maybe if he decides to stick to that 5-7, go for armor. But still, it's going to be a very, very tough force buy if Choke Gaming do opt to do it. Meanwhile, GLG racking up that second round on the board. You'd expect them realistically to make it 3-0 given this current scenario as well. And to be fully honest with you, I doubt that Powell's, I believe, yeah, that is Powell, that Powell's Mac 10 is really going to deal too much damage up against the armoured terrorists.
No, I feel like the Mac 10 was kind of just a consolation prize at the end of that round, just a bit of a silver lining. Actually, Imi pushing so aggressively, changes his mind on that one. Stanley just waiting with that Mac 10, but with as little armor as they have, Imi going to be the first one to fall. I don't really expect much to come out for Choke here. However, Googly only having that Tech 9, so maybe they can find a window of opportunity there. But I would expect, I mean, worst possible case scenario for GLG here is that they get a bomb down and then lose it on the retake, and maybe there's 1 CT remaining at the end. But I don't even expect that to happen.
Yeah, this is nice. You know what they say, slow and steady wins the race, and that's exactly the name of the game for GLG. They're sending Stanley in first to run and gun with the Mac 10, but Oh my god, him and Mighty Max don't realise how close they are to each other. Mighty Max should get killed sometime soon, but instead Stanley's actually going to get straight behind enemy lines. He's going to hope that he hasn't actually been spotted. Ezio toying with this 5-7, gets one, but one's not going to be enough given the current scenario as Mighty Max rotates from behind, gets a headshot onto Shig, and now it's Powell and Mighty Max to try and retake this bomb site. But their positions aren't ideal. The Galils are raining down upon them. But despite Mighty Max getting a nade kill, the GLG somehow managed to survive that round. And well, that was definitely one heck of a round.
That was the sneakiest round I think I've ever seen. About 3 times throughout that round, you saw 2 players just sneak on past each other without realizing. We saw Stanley go through jungle past the guy in mid window, and we saw in connector as well. Just everybody. The
funny thing was that he'll have definitely realised that he'd, walked past Mighty Max, but instead he thought, right, Mighty Max has no idea I'm here. I've managed to get into window room. Let's see if I can flank his teamates from behind and take them by surprise.
I've ninja'd my way this far. Might as well keep it going.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, hilarious play coming out, but 3 points on the board for Good Looking Gamers. So fantastic start for them, but it is the first rifle round of the game. Powell with a glass cannon up in his hands. We'll see if there's going to be anything he can do with that one. Stanley going to be his opponent. We've seen Stanley really step up to the plate with that up in the past. But it's whether or not he'll be able to replicate that success in this current game up against Choke Gaming now. You mentioned Choke potentially having a little bit of inner turmoil within the team. Do you think this might be the reason that they've come to a bit of a shaky start?
I think it's early days, to be honest. It's Mirage, you lose your pistol, it's only 3-0. This is where the gun round, where they really have to step things up, but Tommy is going to take matters into his own hands, gets not just one but a double as well. Imi's hiding just behind the firebox, and he is eventually going to get sprayed down by Shig, but they don't realise that Peggy is hiding in dark spot. He sees Shig, stops him from planting the bomb. See you later, Wreck as well, and Peggy is on the verge of something amazing, but the Italian will stop him. I bet he was on TeamSpeak going Mamma Mia there, but they just about, again, GLG, managed to win the round.
The trigger control coming out from Peggy right there, just biding his time. He was so lucky that nobody peeked underneath scaffold. So close to making a beautiful 3-man play there, but couldn't quite finish off that last man. Googly able to take the round in the end. Incredibly close to doing just the ridiculous play there, but it's going to be Powell so aggressively, already gets beheaded by Wreck. And now Peggy tagged out as well. Another eco forced to come out here for Choke Gaming, and immediately they feel punishment for that. Stanley very aggressively pushing with this MAC-10. Already down mid. And actually, we see a man from Connector, Mighty Max with the P250. He does find one, but he goes down to the MAC-10 of Stanley in the end. And now 3 CTs remain. 1 on A, 2 on B. But with 4 men pushing on against them, 3 AKs and a MAC-10, it's going to be a tall order.
Yeah, it will be. Again, it's just a case of seeing whether they can get a few more exit frags, maybe try and pick up one of these Kalashnikovs, but they're not going to be able to. Googly, the ex-Dignitas man, back from his CS Source days, once again getting the final frag of the round, and the good-looking gamers, 5 rounds already on the T side of Mirage, up against Choke Gaming, and well, the odds are definitely looking wrong right now, but still, this is Choke Gaming, you can never rule them out. I remember when they were 14-1 down, I believe, on Dealers 2 up against Team Infused, and they somehow miraculously managed to bring it back to 15-all and took the game to overtime. This is a team with a lot of character, a lot of experience, so let's see whether they can do it.
Yeah, and I mean, there's only one other game where we've seen GLG really show up like this. It was up against CEX. That was another game that went to overtime. We'll see if the same happens, but it's going to be Imi finally getting a first kill on the board for Choke Gaming. They finally get a man advantage in one of these rounds, and maybe that's going to be enough for them to get something chalked up in their favor. But, I mean, a rifle round, the second one of the game, so important here for Choke, and it's going to be Powell taking out Stanley with the ult, finds a second one for himself as he gets blinded out, gets the third one. Powell is on fire right now as Shig is going to go down, or going to take down Peggy, rather. He's the last man remaining in a 1 versus 4. I don't think he's going to be able to do too much with this one. Has the AK, though. We'll see if any kind of magic can come out from his fingertips, but it's going to be Powell taking him out. He gets the 4K and finally gets something up for Choke Gaming.
Yeah, very surprised that GLG pushed 2 men through connector, and, well, that first man who went through didn't bother to check to the right of him into jungle, and ultimately he paid the price. And I do feel like GLG's push towards that A-bomb site could have also been better. For example, the player who pushed straight out of Apps, if he pushed out of Palace, as the guys pushed out of connector, then maybe Peggy would have been distracted by him as he waited in jungle. But regardless, it's nice to see Choke Gaming finally get on the scoreboard. AWP in the hands of Powell. Meanwhile, Imi as well, the in-game leader for Choke Gaming, is also AWPing elsewhere on the map. And hello, Imi, there he is. See you later, Powell. AWP kills traded. It's actually Imi who's on short. And he's now going to fall back, play the B-bomb site a bit more passive. And I like this. They've gotten that frag, but they know at 4 versus 4, this is slowly starting to favour the T's a bit more. Pull back a little bit, play a bit more passive, and wait for the T's to come to you. Try and figure out where they're heading and let them make the first move.
Yeah. A little bit of a failed smoke coming out from Googly there, but Shig's got his back. He's going to throw that out in mid, but before the smoke even blooms, he gets Imi. Mighty Max trades it straight back onto Googly, though, so 3v3 once again. And that's another Choke member falling. Can Mighty Max get the double here? He needs to, but he's only going to get 1. And now Ezio is all on his own. Rek down to just 12 HP, but he has that big green gun. It's more than enough to take a kill onto the last Choke Shark remaining as the bomb is going to be planted. It's all on Ezio's shoulders right now. They can't really afford this loss. They finally got the first win on the board, and it's going to be Rek taking him down through the smoke. Choke Gaming, they finally got one on the board, but immediately that bonus money is just going to be taken off them.
Yeah, that's the problem when you are on the CT side. You lose your pistol, you lose X amount of rounds, you finally get your first round. It's pretty much a given that you need to win 2 in a row, otherwise, like you said, that round loss bonus comes back to haunt you. Choke Gaming, they went big into the last round. 2 AWPs, spent a lot, but regardless, now, unsurprisingly, find themselves only on pistols. That's Imi, the man with the diffuser as well, to go down. And Rek just playing at a distance. He anticipated the CTs with these pistols are probably going to try and get up close and personal. That's where they deal the most damage. And this is really good play from GLG. I just hope that they can get these frags before they get overpowered by the incoming CTs. Googly's got to try and protect Rek and his AWP here.
He certainly does, and Peggy just waiting around the corner. Is Shig about to push on forward, and he domes him immediately with the P250. Googly going to try and avenge his teammate, and he's going to do so as Rek finds one with the AWP as well. Pommy now pushing in onto the site as Mighty Max hides in that smoke. Ezio in CT is going to go down. Mighty Max spraying across, but he can't quite find his target. The P250 in hand is not going to be enough as Stanley comes from behind him, gets himself a second kill of the round, and grabs that AWP for his team. 7-1 is the score, and the good-looking gamers, I feel for the first time this season, I'm able to say, are actually looking good.
Yeah, they are. Feel like the fact that they still sort of lost 3 players that round wasn't exactly ideal. They had a player who was just outside of B who could have gone underground and maybe helped the guys at mid, but here we go. Nice and aggressive coming out from Mighty Max, but they didn't learn from the last round. Rek in the very same position he was before, waiting patiently and reaping the rewards, but so is Powell at mid. Fantastic play with the big green gun, quickly turning things back in favour of the Sharks. And it's currently 4 versus 3. They know Max is still at the top of mid, and when Max is put in positions like this, he really does deal the damage, and his team reap the rewards. This is great play from Max.
Certainly is. Now Rek and Googly, the last 2. As I say that, it's going to be took down to just Rek. He's in a 1 versus 1 against Mighty Max. 30 health remaining. I don't think there's a lot he can do here. Got an AWP though. And you can never really count out a sniper in this game, but it is going to be Mighty Max taking him down with the M4. And that is going to be another round on the board for Choke Gaming now. They're trying ahead, trying to get a few more on the board. They can't really afford to go into the second half this far down when you're playing from the CT side.
No, 100% right. And they have picked up some AK-47s, which will, of course, ease things economically at least for a short amount of time. There's the smoke onto Catwalk by Stanley to prevent Powell in the window room from being able to pick him off, but the fact that we've got 4 players heading straight in towards B apps suggests that we may very well see a late push straight in. Meanwhile, Stanley's just going to stick around at mid, try and catch any rotators. I believe he's already seen a glimpse of Max, but Powell ready to pounce and waiting towards the window area. See you later, Stanley. And GLG now, they're going to rush straight into B. No surprise, considering that they only really had pistols to work with. And good use of Molotovs from Imi as well. It's nice to see those Molotovs utilised, especially when you know your opponents are going to be on an eco. And Choke Gaming, about time too, starting to build up on the scoreboard, starting to build a bit of momentum, and starting to really play a bit more like the Choke Gaming we're used to seeing.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe, just maybe, this is one of those the same things that we saw earlier with Xenex. I mean, their first half on cash was really not fantastic, but then the second half they didn't drop a round, so maybe it's just a matter of needing to warm up. But Mighty Max appears to be warmed up as he takes down Stanley, but Powell again coming in, gets a second one. Rex surely knew he was there, but looked the complete wrong direction. And now just 2 Ts remaining. Once again, Googly trying to push on through towards A, but with just the Galil, there's not going to be a whole lot he can do on this one.
Yeah, it's not the first time Powell actually does that as well, so I'm surprised that GLG haven't learnt from their mistakes just yet. They should know that as soon as you come out of that underground area, check your left and then straight away look upwards, just before you sort of leave the area where you are covered upwards from the ceiling bit. But yeah, hopefully they will sort of bear it in mind for next time at least. And I think the best bet for GLG now is for Shig and Googly just to hold on to these weapons. Financially, they're not going to be in a great situation because I don't think they've planted the bomb yet. I think they only planted the bomb on the pistol, I think it was. So, yeah, if they can hold on to these weapons, hopefully it'll help them going into the next few rounds.
Yeah, certainly will. You definitely, especially with that AWP as well, it's just such an expensive gun. You can't really afford to be throwing those ones away. And with 15 seconds on the clock, I would expect them to survive this one. Googly pushing quite aggressively, though. It's just going to be hiding up against this wall as the CTs begin their hunt, and appropriately it is going to be the Choke Sharks hunting, swimming through the water, smelling for blood. They're not going to find any at the end of this round, though. And it's going to be GLG taking on that AWP and the Galil through into this next round. But if you take a look at their economy, it's really not looking fantastic. They are going to have to eco this one out. Let's take a quick look at the scoreboard as we head into our 12th round. I mean, Rek, we talked about him before at the start of this game, actually. The AWP is down mid. It's going to get legged out, actually, but does manage to survive initially. We talked about Rek at the start of this game to be one of the players to watch. He's on double anyone else on his team's score right now, and Imi is one up to Googly to open this round up. Imi seems to be the kind of ray of hope finding these opening frags for his team here.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they sent in Googly towards short first rather than one of the Tech 9 armor players, simply because the more Russian Tech 9 running gun style would have suited him a lot more, rather than sending in the Galil and losing that weapon so early. But I don't know whether Mighty Max actually realises that one of the GLG players could potentially have got boosted into window room, but I doubt it's going to make that much of a difference. Stanley does make a difference, grabbing the headshot onto Mighty Max, but Peggy with his foot on the gas pedal getting a frag, and now Shig will be lucky to get a plant here, and Powell will not allow him to do so. So Choke Gaming slowly creeping their way back into this game. It's nice to see that the fact they've won so many rounds in a row has left with Powell with over $10,000. They've built the bank that they require. Even if they lose the next round, they won't find themselves in a situation where they'll have to eco. But I think what GLG tried to counter that round is they realise how dominant Powell has been at mid. He's going to get the tag there. They surely need to fly him, but Powell doesn't care. He's going to continue to face him. He knows that GLG's been at mid. He's going to have men coming towards short and men going straight towards connector. Molotov going down as he looks to barbecue these good-looking gamers. And Powell, for me, has just honestly been phenomenal holding mid with that AWP.
He really has. Every single round it feels like Powell is there with the AWP in window, gets 2 down to... I mean, I think it was 2, if not 3 rounds that we saw him get the double kill exactly where Shig is standing right now, just taking their heads off their men. And we've seen him 2 rounds in a row, unfortunately, legging the first shot. This time, able to get a second one right before getting blinded and taken down. But honestly, with that AWP, he has been unstoppable this game. And now Shig, the last team remaining, he's going to fall to Mighty Max, who pushes. And now, 6-7 on the scoreboard. Good-looking gamers. They were 6 rounds up. And those 6 rounds is the exact same number that Choke Gaming has rounds in total.
If you look on the right-hand side, Powell's got an AWP on his back. Oh, well, it's gone now, but I think it lagged out a bit. And Powell had an AWP in his hands and an AWP on his back.
The double upset. You know what they say. It's always best to have that sniper as a secondary weapon.
What, you mean when JW used to play with the open CZ?
Dual wielding.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Well, when you can no-scope like JW, I suppose it don't matter if you can't use the scopes.
This is good from Powell. He learned from the last round that good-looking gamers figured out that he kept playing from window room. That's why they put the smoke at the top of Catwalk, actually. But he changed his position, repositioned towards connector, and got that entry frag again for Choke Gaming. And you can't help but feel sorry for GLG. It's almost like going into the first 20 seconds of the round, they always find themselves a man down. Not much you can do. It's good that they actually built up that 7-round barrier early on, because technically they could still lose the next 2 rounds and still be going into their CT side with good stead, particularly if they win their pistol.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, when a game is going to be going into the second half as close as this, the pistol is going to be absolutely crucial. About this now as the green light has shone and good-looking gamers are going to push into their site, but they're going to be mown down by Mighty Max. And there's a double shot for Powell. Powell is going absolutely insane this game. Gets the collateral onto 2 as they push on through. GLG mown down like they were on a firing range right there. 7-7 is the score. And honestly, Choke just seemed to have halfway through this first round, just flicked a switch and just suddenly started going crazy.
Is that Imi trying to... No, Imi's onshore. I was worried he was trying to go underground again. Did seem to do it a few rounds earlier on. And good-looking gamers, they gave that AWP to Rec and they told him, come on, mate, start working some of your magic. Go mid all by yourself and get this pick onto Powell, but he's not going to be able to. Fantastic play from Powell. Even Stanley can't frag him as he tries to jump up and down, but Mighty Max, great teamwork, had his teammates back, and now he could be the man to repel this incoming attack over straight towards the A-bomb site. And Tommy will also get fragged. And Choke Gaming, it was a very rough start, Munch, but good character to at least bring it back to 8-7 and win the half, regardless.
Honestly, I feel like Powell this game. Yeah. It's just been insane. Like, right at the start of that round, you said they gave Rec that up. They told him to go and challenge Powell in mid. If I were GLG, I would not even want to challenge Powell. I'd just be like, all right, you guys can have mid. I don't want anything to do with this right now because Powell is just taking heads left, right, and center.
I feel like GLG didn't really challenge either the A or B bomb site most of the time. It's always like at the start of the round, they always wanted to try and assert that mid control. And every time they tried to send people to mid, it didn't matter if they sent 1, 2 people or the entire goddamn good-looking gamers army, they still would get fragged by at least one. They would still, 1 or 2 of their players would still somehow get fragged by Powell and that AWP. And like I said, once you're 2 or 1 man down so early on, 20 seconds into the round, heads start to drop. There's only so much you can really do. You just find yourself outnumbered. And especially on a map like Mirage, which is so CT-sided, when you find yourselves 2 men down on the T side, it often feels like there's almost no point in carrying on with a round because that's how difficult it is.
I think that's one key thing as well that you just touched on there. Mirage is a very CT-sided map. So the fact that Choke started on that CT side and they're only 8-7, even after that really strong sort of last few rounds, GLG with 7 rounds potentially still have the advantage here. They're going into the CT side of Mirage. They're going to be looking incredibly strong. If they can shut Powell down, I think Powell and Mighty Max, they're kind of the 2 right now for Choke that are really stepping up to the plinth. And if they can challenge Powell in mid, if they can get Rec that AWP in hand, if he can take out Powell at the start of the round, maybe, just maybe, they're going to be the ones to look out for.
Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, like I said, if they could win their pistol, build a bit of momentum, find themselves at 10-8. Like I said, what did I say when they won their T pistol? I said, if they win the first gun round, they're going to find themselves with a really healthy lead. And if they can do the same on the CT side, then who knows what might happen. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. I mean, on paper, we didn't really expect them to win their first gun round on the T side because it's a CT-sided map. But now the map's actually in their favour. So I see no reason whatsoever why GLG can't win the game, given such a strong T performance.
Yeah, and this is... Honestly, if you're Choke Gaming right now, you're 3-2. You're tied in 3rd place with 2 other teams. It's starting to look a little bit nervous for them. Both Fish123 and United Estonia in the same place in the standings 1 week after this one until playoffs. They really can't be affording to lose these games. And GLG, they've got nothing to lose. They can pretty much pull out whatever they want to in this game. They've not got a point on the board standings-wise just yet.
Really
looks
nice.
like this might be the one for them as they push in onto the A site. Choke pushing forward, but Shig is there with the P250. Finds one, but he can't turn it into anything else. Ezio going to take him down as Pommy can't connect his shots. It's going to be 3 versus 4. The A site has been taken by Choke Gaming, and GLG look to recover it.
Yeah, Imi making his way towards A-ramp, but the call does come in that Stanley's coming from behind. If Stanley had gone to that frag, it could have been absolutely massive, but instead it's going to be the Welshman in SEO to get a frag of his own, and Mighty Max to finish things off. And when I said it was really nice at the start of the round, I loved how aggressive GLG went. They took the gamble to try and sort of gather the information on where the Ts were, realised that they were all heading towards the A bomb site, but I was disappointed by how Pommy dropped down into get right by himself and then easily got fragged after it was Shig who got fragged towards CT spawn. If he had avoided that, the retake would have been 4-on-4, much easier for the rest of his teammates.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you can see on your screen there, they've just faded away the Betway odds for the next game, United Estonia up against Fish123. You can go and put your money down on that one over at esports.betway.com, but there's no time for that right now because we already see the B site starting to basically be taken over by these terrorists. Absolutely no one there from the GLG lineup. And actually, Pommy going to be repping those dual Berettas, the new improved, with armor penetration included now. So extra value on those dualies. We'll see if there's anything he can do with them.
It's like a TV advert. Buy your dual Berettas now with, I don't know, what did you say? Extra armor penetration included.
Armor penetration now included. Rechargeable armor penetration. But we're going to see Imi waiting with the Mac-10. Finds Shig. Saves his teammate there. Stanley is going to find one. What is going on? Dropping from the sky. It's going to end up going down. But Peggy knows exactly where Stanley is. Mows him down with the Galil. But Frag's going left, right, and center. Googly going to fall to the bomb. Only on 2 HP there. Pommy, unfortunately, we don't get to see him use those dualies in that round. And I would expect them to go for another eco here rather than any kind of force buy. So we'll see if he's going to be able to use them to any effect in this one.
Yeah, I remember back in the day, you could only use dual Berettas if you were on the terrorist side, but it's nice to see that the CTs now have them. And to be fair, it's nice to see that Valve buffed them a little bit, because to be fair, they
basically put them in the game now.
Yeah, they now have a use, but talking about having a use... Oh no, I was going to say that Stanley was going to play a crucial factor at the back of that B-bomb site, but failed to get the frag, and it's going to be Powell to lead the charge straight in towards the A-bomb site from Connector. But realistically speaking here, not much GLG can do, even after Shig picks up that Mac-10. Choke now, I think they just need to slow things down, take their time, and wait for GLG to make a mistake exactly like what Pommy just did.
Absolutely. And I was hoping that Pommy would make some kind of crazy play with the dual Berettas. I just wanted to see the dual Berettas do well. But unfortunately, it's not going to be the case. Choke Gaming grab another one, and the good-looking gamers finally get a rifle buy. This is such a crucial round for them. They can't really afford to be forced into any more ecos at this late stage of the game. Choke Gaming just 5 away from taking the victory here. Good-looking gamers. They've got that favoured CT sign. But now, again, the first kill going over. Ezio able to take that, but Stanley is going to be able to trade it across. Ezio is going to fall, and Googly finds another one. So GLG with the advantage now. And now A is going to be the site that Choke decide to push onto. Shig is laying in wait though with the M4, finds one for himself, can't quite finish off Peggy though, takes him down to 10 HP. The bomb is going to be planted though, which is going to be crucial for Choke Gaming. That extra $800 just makes the difference in so many situations. But Powell's looking the wrong way, he's going to fall to wreck. And now Peggy, he finds a second kill for himself with 10 HP. Can he get the 4K? It's not looking likely as Rek finds him with that M4. And Googly, doing his best Spider-Man impression, is going to be able to defuse the bomb. Yeah,
if GLG had lost that round, then not only would they have been forced onto ecoing, but financially, because they are on the more expensive side, they would have found themselves in a complete mess. With a very, very steep hill to try and climb up. But they are fighting back in it, are GLG. But Choke Gaming, winning 3 rounds in a row, they can afford to still mount up the AWP in the hands of Powell, who, for me, was incredibly effective on the CT side for Choke Gaming. It's just a matter of where Mighty Max is going to head. I'll tell you where he's going to head. He's going to head straight into his death as Stanley, the man, giving Choke Gaming a bit of a taste of their own medicine at mid, playing at window. But at 4 versus 4, the CTs now have to split up between the A and B bomb site. Shig is in after. Oh, he's just going to catch Imi, but he cannot get the frag. And Imi single-handedly is going to open up this A bomb site unless Stanley can get his second of the round. And he will do. But 3 versus 3, my money's on Choke Gaming. GLG, there's only so much ground that they can cover given this current scenario. And it's so important they find this frag onto the injured Ezio ASAP.
Certainly is, but we've seen Stanley step up in situations like this before. We'll see if he can do the same. He's got that AWP and he's been so accurate with it. Even just in this game alone, we've seen him show up. But now Powell, I mean, if I was saying Stanley's been doing well with the AWP this game, that doesn't even begin to describe how Powell's been doing. And the A site is going to be green light for go, but Peggy goes down to Stanley's AWP. That's his 3rd kill. That's his 4th one as he takes the head off. Rek is going to fall, and now Powell is going to challenge the CT AWPer. Stanley just hiding out in jungle, does not want to get spotted out. And Powell in a 2 versus 1, he decides to back away from this one. 5 seconds on the clock, he can't get the plant, and good-looking gamers, they're gonna save the round. Stanley single-handedly keeping GLG in the game here.
Yeah, fantastic play from him, fantastic anticipation as well, superb pre-fire with the AWP, and Choke Gaming, they've opted to keep that AWP, so are they going to go for some armor Tech 9 buys here, try and force it up from that perspective? No, okay, no armor for the guys with the pistols. Meanwhile, they're going to try and utilize Powell to get an early entry frag on towards the A-bomb site. That's like a very brave man to do what Powell just did, but that's phenomenal play from the Choke Gaming player. And now him and the rest of his teammates will go in search of the secondary frag, and they've got to get this bomb down as soon as possible, otherwise GLG will begin to rotate. Mighty Max gets tagged from mid. See you later, Googly, all the way back to Italy. Stanley burns Imi to a crisp, gets an AWP kill as well. And I hate to say it, but Choke Gaming are going to lose this round. Good-looking game is really bringing this back to 11-10. I doubt Ezio will be able to clutch this. Or will he? Anything's possible with a Rek 9, but no, it's not going to occur. Looking at the bright side, Choke Gaming planted the bomb, which will give them an extra $800 each.
Yeah.
And to be fully honest with you, I mean, looking back with regards to whether it was the right decision to save that AWP, when you consider how strong of a player Powell is, he proved to us that it was the right decision, as opposed to planting the bomb on the previous round and trying to clutch it, because him getting that entry frag was what made that round possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, I thought GLG were going to lose that round at the start. It was an incredibly convincing beginning to the round from Choke. They were able to get control of the A side, but then the cavalry arrived from the good-looking gamers. And Imi actually going to find Stanley, burns him to a crisp with that Molotov. And now the man advantage for the terrorists here. The Choke Shark's going to move in onto the A site. Shig is laying in wait with the M4, but not quite able to finish off his target there. And it's going to be Rek finds one onto Imi and turns it into a 4 versus 4. But now the after plant positions have been assumed, and the retake has to come out from GLG here. They have to make the magic happen, and it's going to be Poppy jumping in, but he doesn't find his target. The frag grenade going in onto Peggy. Everybody incredibly low. Googly finds one for himself as Powell doing what he can, but Mighty Max is on the side. He gets the triple spray. Mighty Max just mows down the GLG lineup and gets another win on the board.
The thing is, what happened there was that player who dropped down into the get-right position, and he will have called to the rest of his teammates, guys, there's two playing in get-right. That's why we saw the nade go over the double boxes towards that area. But because one of the secondary players actually pushed out and only one died, it's almost like all the CTs who were coming up from CT spawn were looking towards that side saying, where is he? We're trying to find the second player. Little did they realize that Mighty Max was hiding elsewhere on the bomb site, and they were actually trying to chase around that other player who was dodging and diving around the boxes on the bomb site. It was great play, but no way should have good-looking gamers let something as simple as that get the better of them. They really should have checked their angles, checked that corner, and now the stampede straight towards this A-bomb site commences. Rec with a P2000 frag, Stanley with his second USPS kill of the round, and at 2 versus 2, I don't fancy the lads with pistols, but in CSGO, anything can happen.
Yeah, Stanley just... it's going to be cooked up for Ezio's dinner right there on that Molotov. Googly with the P250. We'll see if there's anything he can do on this one. Peggy knows where he is.
It's about feeding.
He's got his number. He's got the AK in hand. Should be able to finish this kill off. He does in the end. And that's going to be another round for Choke Gaming. Going to be very happy with that one. I mean, good effort by Stanley. Nice couple of little USP kills in that round, but wasn't really enough. Only 2 AKs taken through there, though, for Choke Gaming. So good economic damage from the good-looking gamers. But a full rifle buy yet again for Choke Gaming, and a bit of a force coming out from GLG. A couple of Famises in hand.
Yeah, I'd hate to be that, like, one individual to make a mistake to cost GLG the game at this point. For me, GLG really, really need to win this round to try and stay in this game. And when you consider the fact that Choke Gaming were, what, 7-1 down at one point? It's been a fantastic comeback from him. Such great character portrayed by him. But little do they realise that Pommy's hiding in dark spot. Sure, he didn't get that second frag, but he's left Mighty Max requiring a medic with only 19 HP. Shig actually goes for the gamble, jumps on top of the box, gets nailed in the head by Powell, and so does Rec. And now Googly with it all to do. Bomber's being planted, and he too is going to taste a bit of Powell. It doesn't matter whether he has the AWP or the AK-47. This man right now, Munch, along with Max, both of them playing fantastic Counter-Strike and both on fire.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot you can do when you're sat in the GLG position, and you can see that 2 members on the enemy team going up with 26 frags. They are going ridiculous this game. Pommy already tagged down to 49. The frag grenade goes through, and Powell, like you said last round, he doesn't need an AWP. He's going to do it without, and Googly finds one with that 5-7 onto Imi. Evens up the numbers, but the A site is about to be consumed by Choke Gaming right now as they all barrel on through connector. A little bit of lag as we inspect that smoke grenade. But now, can the retake come through? That's the question. Mighty Max going to be able to get that bomb down. Can the retake happen? There's not a whole lot that GLG have to work with here. Grenades galore, rifles in everybody's hands as Powell finds one onto Stanley. Ezio gets one onto Googly. And the 2 GLG members remaining. Shake, one of them, is going to be dropped down. Rec can't find his shots, and it's going to be the match point now for Choke Gaming. They are 1 round away from securing themselves 3rd place as we head towards our final week of the UK Premiership group stages. And the good-looking gamers, all they can cobble together is 3 Famises, a Mag 7, and a Desert Eagle. Do you think they can do this one, Kainai?
No, I don't. That's why I said they had to win. I think it was round number... It would have been round number 24 where I said they had to win it. And, I mean, if they do manage to win this round, fair play to them. But Choke Gaming have built up such a healthy economy that they don't care. They'll just rebuy up all these AK-47s. Maybe we might see a hint of an AWP. But this is a good start for the good-looking gamers. Googly with a good-looking entry frag. And Mighty Max, check that corner to the left. Shig hits the floor, goes down. And tell you what, if they can get this frag onto Rec, that could be all she wrote. and Ezio confirms that. And in a 4 versus 2 with the bomb down, for me, there's only going to be one winner of this round, and they go by the name of Choke Gaming.
Yeah, Pommy and Googly, last 2 remaining. We already see Stanley has left the server. He's well aware of the situation, as are Peggy and Mighty Max, who finish off the last 2 kills and take the game for Choke Gaming. So the Choke Sharks going to be able to swim their way to victory. And good-looking gamers, honestly, I'm gutted for them that they didn't take that one.
I think it's safe to say we were both buzzing when they were 7-0 up, because we hyped them so much. We were like, you know, this is the team that everyone was talking about, saying that they've got so much experience, a decent